Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here with my beautiful podcaster in crime, Jessie.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so excited to be here. It's my favorite place to be, my favorite time of the week. Here with my Allie,
I
and
know we're switched this week.
I know we are switched this week. I am so excited for the guests we are having on tonight. When you told me, I was like, no way. Please take it away with the intro.
Strap in, because tonight's guest is an absolute powerhouse. Sumo Cyco is a genre-defying band known for their explosive fusion of punk rock, metal, and dancehall energy, led by the magnetic force that is Sky Sweetman. Skye is not only a vocal juggernaut, but also a visionary with deep roots in performance, having transitioned from teen pop stardom to leading one of the most intense and innovative bands on the circuit. Sumo Cyco isn't just a band, it's a movement. And at the heart of it all is Skye, singer, actress, director, and chaos conductor. Please welcome the one, the only Sky Sweetman.
Oh, hi. That was such a nice intro. Thank you so much, Allie. That was amazing.
Not even gonna lie, I've been waiting
It's
since
all she's been talking about.
I have been doing a podcast to do that intro.
I love it. That was so great. I need you to come with me and travel with me and just introduce me like that to everyone.
You would do it like this.
Oh,
Don't tell her that, because she would be like, my bags are packed. I'm on my way.
Sumo Cyco Street Team, got you.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this new album, with the songs that you've released, it feels like you guys have so much to say. What went into the title, Neon Void? How does it cover everything that you've got with the songs that you've released?
Yeah, for this record, I felt like there was a lot of kind of like shadows a little bit following me through the process of writing, through the process of making the recording. And I also felt like I was very distracted, like very in my head about stuff, overthinking stuff. I mean, it did take us like 4 years to get out another record. Our last one came out in 2021. So we had a complete like overhaul of our team in the back end, which took a lot of work and kind of like reimagining. And we also worked on so many songs. I think we wrote over 60 plus songs before we could narrow it down to the final one. So even that process, when normally we would write like 12 to 15 and then be like, oh, that's the record right there, it created a lot of like overthinking, like, do we want this song, do we want that song? And I felt like I was pulled into this like void, like the circle of like where you can't make decisions, where you're just like stuck. And then I'm like distracted by my phone and the world events, and it's like all doom and gloom, and it's like I'm in this place trying to break free and find my empowerment and try to find my mission. And so Neon Void to me is kind of like that space in purgatory where you haven't really decided on your mission yet. You're just kind of mulling everything over and overthinking and getting distracted. And so the idea is to find our way to the other side.
Now, with this album, is it harder after since there was such a break in between? You've been at this a while. Was there more pressure with this album?
I feel like I always put tons of pressure on myself to always grow past my previous work. So there's always this side that you always want to do better than you've done before. You always want to progress. You always want to grow. And I do feel like there's a lot that can kind of get in the way of just kind of doing art for art's sake. I mean, it is tough just to make ends meet as an independent artist, to try to figure out how do I financially balance my life to make enough time to do my art and enough to figure out how to grow the business and invest in ourselves as bands. So there's a lot of juggling. There's a lot of juggling hats, and obviously, like your intro said, I do a lot of more than just sing for the band. I do a lot of the back end stuff when it comes to applying for work visas and making sure that we've got all of our social media taken care of and our
Yeah.
website's functioning and our web store is working and people are getting their orders. So there's a lot of working parts, and I'm always trying to balance all of that. So it definitely there is pressure. And as you grow and scale, one of the things I was very conscious about for this record was asking for help and being able to accept help, which is sometimes harder than
That's
actually
the
asking for it.
that's a whole learning curve because, like, growing up, you don't wanna ask for help, you wanna be, like, self-sufficient, but it's almost like everything's community-based, especially music.
Yeah.
It's so community-based, like, because and the only thing you could do is because people have helped other people and they wanna help you, so you have to be open to asking, is, like, the
Oh,
other thing.
100%. Yeah, Amanda Palmer, I read her book, and it's all about like just asking for what you need, and you'd be surprised at how many people are willing to give you exactly what you need, as long as you can like give your reasons on why it's important, and also sourcing out other like-minded creative people that are literally looking for opportunities to showcase their work. So, for instance, on this new album, I'm working with a stylist and fashion designer named Brandon Cure, who's amazing. I'm working with an amazing photographer and social media friend, Sophie, working with my longtime collaborator, Francesca Ludicar, and really kind of helping the whole team kind of progress everyone's goals through, working with each other in various projects. And I'm finding that that's, literally makes everything possible to do is having sometimes someone to lean on and help with certain areas of the band. So I've been getting better with that in this album cycle for sure.
Now, do you feel, especially with this album, that you said that you have been reaching out to people more for help? Do you feel like the fans have really kind of played more of a role in this album?
Well, the one thing that's really cool that I've been doing with this album that's new for me is I started back in around November doing it's like a, for lack of a better word, like a fan club, but we call it Only Psychos. And it lets our like core fans for a subscription like get the inside scoop of everything that's going on in my life. So they know when I'm stressed about a deadline, they know when I'm like, got issues going on in my head about not being confident about certain things. They know when we're having shows coming up and how I got to rehearse and practice my voice and work out. And they know pretty much everything that's going on in my life. So they've been really a constant support through the ups and downs. And I thought it would be cool to kind of get them in on the ground floor before we started recording the record, which we did in February, and doing the music videos so they can really hear my stories every week about how things are going, what it takes, the struggles, the ups, the downs. And I think it's really cool for them as fans who see always like the final product to be able to really get in the nitty-gritty every single week and like figure out what's going on. So that's been a really fun way to integrate the fans that we haven't done before.
And now Neon Void, that's being released on October 24th.
You got it. Yeah.
Very, very exciting. Something to
So
keep us
we gotta hear about the song so far and the music videos. Let's kind of start with Villains. And what was your creative vision with that one?
So villains to me, I grew up like in the Disney era, right? So like all these like super villains with these like elaborate costumes, and it's almost like they're happy to be evil, that kind of like a ha 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 kind of vibe. So I wanted like a very theatrical visual to go along with a song that actually really touches on real life villains and is pretty serious. And all of my work, I find I really always play to the extremes or to have some type of contrast. So if it's like a super serious lyrical song, then I want it to be kind of fun and like theatrical, maybe in the visuals. So I really pictured having this amazing character, like queen character, that was the ultimate evil villain. And the fashion designer I mentioned to you, Brandon, had this great vision of this coat with these like spike shoulders. And we talked to our amazing makeup artist, Lisa Tuff, and she had this like crazy headpiece. And we did like some amazing work and collaborated together with also even like um Imago Millinery, who did the crown, and they're a headpiece designer. So there was lots of like effort and concerted effort from the whole team to like create this character. And then I really wanted like to start off the the visuals with like a really strong, striking, like stop you in your feed kind of color scheme and background that went with that character. So I literally was looking through like some inspiration photos and came across a sketch of what a it was like I think like an open competition that was put out to ask the public like what should we do if there's like should we have some type of like sign or monument over top of nuclear waste to let generations and generations, thousands of years in the future to know like don't dig here. Like this is
Yeah.
you don't want to dig here. And this one guy came up with the idea of making these huge spike spires that like look super evil that would like communicate to maybe a future that doesn't speak the same language or doesn't like have things that would last if like steel was breaking down, like would have to be these huge stone structures that would kind of show this area was like evil, don't go. And so I was like, oh my god, that looks terrifying, obviously, and that should be my inspiration for the villain's landscape. So I call it the villain's forest, and we just made these like spikes out of foam. And Maddie, my partner in the band, helped me create like tons of these things, and we just had a lot of fun creating this like otherworldly set. And most of the videos will have a familiar theme in them that we are going through different sections of the Sumo Cyco maze. So that's kind of like the commonality between all of the different scenes is they're all going to take you through different parts of our maze.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So we got to hear about Shivers. I mean, so good, and it's like the total opposite from the first one, which I love because usually you have like a flowing storytelling, and even though it still has that, it's a different side of you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Shivers is the first song on Neon Void. It's the intro track. And the reason I picked that one to be the intro track is the song is really about like the feeling you get like when something's like off, but like you're not sure what's gonna happen. Like you feel almost like something bad happened before it actually happens. And I liken this to, you know, walking down the street and feeling like eyes on the back of your head, or when you feel like you can see the car crash coming, but it hasn't happened yet. Like that just moment before the tingles in your body actually register something before your brain does.
Yeah.
And so Shivers is kind of that's what it means. So I was like, okay, that's what we're prepping people for this album is like the feeling that you get right before you're about to like sink your teeth into the album and like really experience it. So Shivers is actually kind of as if I was telling the story chapter 1, and Villains is the 4th song on the album, so that kind of video takes place a little later. But Shivers kind of introduces you to the neon void right at the beginning of the video, getting sucked from my bed right into this black space, which is kind of like purgatory. And I liken all of our music videos we've ever done to take place in our world called Cyco City. And it's kind of where anything goes, and that's why we can do like crazy tricks and magic and teleportation and whatever we want. My hair just changes colors in the snap of a finger. But this album, I feel, is more like it takes place in the space between the real world and Cyco City. It's in that purgatory. It's in the maze in your brain that you have to overcome in order to figure out what your mission or your action is. And so Shivers kind of introduces us to the maze. We go through different obstacles like the branches or like the reflective room where you can't tell what's real and what's, the distortions we all have in our brains on whether that's how we look or how we think or what we think other people are thinking of us. It's all like distortions, right? So it's like escaping that part of the maze and moving on and trying to get to our peace, get to our empowerment. And we'll be taking you guys on the journey through all the different parts of the maze as we keep making these music videos. In fact, I'm here in my car because I've got all my props here for the next music video that we're going to make.
So can we
That's
hear
really
anything about what fans can anticipate with that?
Yeah, so the next single that we're going to release is a song called Asteroid. And this video is going to be take place kind of like as if we're peering into another little like pocket in the maze where we're going to have like quite a twist about what my kind of housewife character is up to in this maze. So I'll leave it there so people can still get a surprise. But you think she's just being cute and innocent, but she's up to something.
So how many songs in total are going to be on the album?
There's 12 songs, and then we're probably going to do music videos for as many as we can before we drop dead, because it's a lot of work to make these music videos, especially doing the pre-production, the direction, filming it, is even 2 to 3 days of filming. Those are long days. They take the wind right out of me. And then we've got to go into editing. I love to do some of the editing because I love to add like special effects or come up with different ideas in post. So that takes like a couple weeks. So it really takes like a lot of work to put these things together. But I love it. I just really, really love creating the visuals, and I love getting my hands dirty. I love building the sets. I love the editing process. So it really is something that, even though it's so much work, like I've got to give my songs the visuals that I just picture in my head. I got to make sure I follow through to its completion.
So what would you say is your favorite aspect? Would you say it's the writing and creative? I'll put those together. Then recording and that whole energy, or would you say it's the live shows and performing?
That's such a tough one. I mean, nothing really, as far as like an adrenaline rush, nothing really hits like the live show. I mean, you're so in the moment that I think that that's just what everyone needs a little bit more of these days, is feeling like you're present in the moment.
Mhm.
Everything's about working for something in the future, or like reminiscing on the past, or scrolling where you're not even anywhere, you're just in another dimension, like endless scroll. So being in the moment, in your body, feeling the music, being around people that are feeling the same energy, that nothing can top that. But the close second is getting into what I call like a flow state. And that could happen whether I'm writing music or whether I'm making a music video or editing. If there's a creative side of the wheels that are turning and making that creative kind of brain work, where you're like, oh, I got this other idea. Oh, I could do this and that. And you just get so excited about the art itself, and you kind of enter into like a space where you're just lost in the creativity. That's a pretty cool place to be as well. So I say those two things kind of keep me going as an artist, for sure.
So before we get into talking about your live shows, you do the calendar and the music videos. What are your top 3 like standout favorite looks or themes that you've had?
Oh my goodness. So many. I remember when I started this band, I used to go to the sex shop to buy all my outfits because I wanted to have like those Halloween costumes where it'd be like sexy nurse, sexy cop, sexy. So I used to keep that theme going, and I always like to play into the horror movie tropes, like we'd always do it would be like a zombie video, and then it'd be the killer clowns and the haunted house, and we just kind of like go through every horror movie we've ever seen in our lives and think of all the different themes. But it's kind of evolved from that. I've started doing like really the most comfortable I can get is when I'm in like a full kind of stretchy bodysuit
Mm-hmm.
because I do so much movement on stage. Um, it's really, really helpful to not be worrying about things falling or straps falling or something sliding or a skirt riding up or whatever. Like when it's just like stuck to my body like a cat suit, like I feel like I can jump on anybody's head, like
Yeah.
run around the whole building, and it feels very free and flexible to do any moves that I like. So I have a lot of kind of like full body kind of outfits like that. I feel like those go over pretty well in the photo shoots too. But as far as like any singular look that I've really liked, like I think I always pay homage a little bit to like the 90s, like the Gwen Stefani vibe with like a bra top and like,
Mm-hmm.
just baggy pants kind of thing. Like I wear that a lot too. I really feel comfortable in that as well. So, but I do love experimenting with fashion. It is one of my favorite things. I'll even sometimes do like my own customizations. So I have like the Sumo Cyco elastic that I use to like make cool bra tops out of, or I'll sew together different pieces to kind of combine them into one, or even sometimes just like adding a bunch of studs and cuts and stuff can like turn something from like something you bought in the store to being very personal and customized. So I love doing that stuff for sure.
I know, like, as soon as I heard that you were coming on, I knew it had to be that picture of you with all the hands because I remember watching a video and it was just random that it had come up and it was you like you were like talking with the pink hands like after just doing that and I love that.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? My partner Matt, when I made that shot for the calendar, I was thinking my theme for the calendar was monsters, and I thought like it could be like the monsters in your head, all these like hands grabbing your hair. And he was like, "That should be the album cover for the next album." And I was like, "But I'm releasing it for the calendar." And he was like, "But we should put it on the record cover." And I was like, he really, really liked that image so much that he was like willing to put that as the cover for our next record. So if you really like it too, then I guess like that was a lost opportunity because it's a favorite, I guess.
We can just keep posting it just randomly.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I had a lot of fun with that shoot for sure.
So we definitely have to get into what can fans expect from the upcoming live show with the new songs?
Yeah, well, I have a little bit of a story to let you guys in on. So
Ooh.
when we started the getting ready to do this record, we've done it in a way that we've never done before, which is working with an outside producer. So my partner in the band, Matt, he can produce everything. Usually we just write in our home studio and then he mixes the songs and it's done. But because we had so many songs to narrow down to this record, we thought, why don't we have like an outside perspective that can kind of tell us, when we're having an argument between him and I, it can kind of be like the third person to kind of break the tie. You know what I mean? And so we had our friend Sam Guiana come in, and he actually grew up in my hometown, which is a little bit of a side, but we've always kept in touch kind of vaguely and watched what each other's have done. He moved to LA, but then I was like, "Do you want to come back home and like do a record with us?" So he was cool. And we thought, well, we'll get together as a band and we'll rehearse the songs for like a couple weeks before you come in and make sure we're like really, really tight before we start the recording process. Well, the day we were supposed to get together with the band, our drummer didn't show up. And
Okay.
we originally were like, oh man, maybe you just forgot today and he'll show up tomorrow, which was like our regular practice day. And kind of started getting worried on the second day when he still didn't show up. And unfortunately, he was in like a really, really bad car accident. And so he was actually missing, and no one knew where he was for like the first few couple days. And we went to like his apartment. We were searching for him. Like, it was super scary because we were like, couldn't find where he was, and found out that he was in a coma in the hospital. So it really put like a halt to everything we were working on.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to postpone the recording, obviously. And even though we postponed it because we could kind of already had arranged for Sam to come down to Canada, like, we just didn't have a drummer to drum. So that kind of changed the way we were going to record the record. So, we got through. Thank goodness we have Sam and Matt are both really talented drummers. So we were able to get through and kind of flub our way through that stuff. And then when it came time to do some live shows, we called our original OG drummer from 2011,
Wow.
Ryan, to come back and to fill in for a couple music videos and a couple shows. And the last show we did 2 weeks ago was a show in Switzerland. So we were flying with Ryan out to Switzerland, get off the plane, and we're like, where is he? This can't happen again. I can't lose another drummer. Like, where is he? 20 minutes after like searching this whole damn airport, Matt gets a text saying, sorry, bro, I'm out. I'm headed home. And he just gets on a plane back to Canada. So we're in Switzerland. We have a show to play tomorrow, and we have no drummer. I'm like, what the hell are we going to do? So Joey had his accident in January. It was now June. And so we're like, well, as a last-ditch effort, who else knows our songs? We're going to see how Joey's feeling. It's like he hasn't played a show since the accident, but in my text back and forward with him the last few weeks, he was like, yeah, I'm still practicing Sumo Cyco songs. So I thought, out of a shot in the dark, maybe he might be able to get up on a plane in like the next couple hours and meet us in time to pull off this show. And Mr. Joey Muha did it. He saved the day. He came in like 3 hours before we had to play. It was such a big show for us because I had like fans were flying into Switzerland for it. We had like an amazing slot in the festival. We were already like paid for it. My parents were coming in. It was just like a big show that I was like, why did this guy like abandon us? I still don't know to this day. He still won't text me back. But Joey came in and saved the day, and he hadn't played a show since his accident. So the drummer situation, long story short, is up in the air right now. Joey, as much as we love him, is still recovering and can't really like do a full tour just yet. So we're kind of in limbo. We're going to find somebody new, hopefully. So if anyone listening thinks they'd be a good fit, send us an audition tape, do one of our songs and send it over. But we're probably going to start playing some live music. Once the record drops in October, we'll book some shows around then, and hopefully we'll have the drummer situation figured out by then. So it's been a bit of a drama with that, but you know what? I'm just glad Joey's okay. I hope Ryan is okay. But yeah, it's just been craziness that I didn't bargain for, that's for sure.
So I was saying, even though that's such a shame that happened in Switzerland, and I'm so sorry that you had to like go through like being panicked all over again, I am so happy that Joey was able to make it out there and play that show and be a part of it. Because I was definitely about to ask, like, how is he doing and where do you guys stand with that? But
yeah, you know what? He just saved the day, and we were super stoked that he was part of the show, and it was kind of like a great, hero moment for me to kind of see this guy. And like, he's not even supposed to be like in sunlight because of some of the burns he has, and he's still got a lot of recovery to go. But like just the fact that he cares about us enough to know we were in like a super tight situation, didn't have time to find anyone else to fill in, like we're literally hours away from the stage time. And he was the only other person we could think of that knew our material and that would be able to, fill in time. So, but yeah, we're keeping a close eye on him, and we want to just, let all the fans know that we're sending all the healing vibes to him. But yeah, he still needs a bit more time. So we're very
Now,
considerate
are
of health comes first, you know?
you looking for a drummer that is from Canada, closer to home, or does it not really matter as long as they're able to travel?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of circumstances that you can kind of overcome if it's the right person. Like traveling, you know, ideally it would be close to home because then you don't have to like travel in. It's easier to do rehearsals. But we've also known of tons of bands that, um, you know, they have different people from all over the place
Mhm.
and just get together like a week before their tour or a couple weeks before their tour, kind of bang out rehearsals and then go on the road. So it's quite possible to do that for sure. So yeah, any situation where you find the right person who's excited to be part of the project, who has the right skill level, who has the right mindset, you know, that's all you kind of hope for, you know?
Jesse, a minute to ask you a couple things because
Hi.
I was so excited when you said that you would come on, and then I mentioned it to Jesse, and Jesse
She
was
was
super
like, "I know
excited for me.
everything about Skye," and I was like, "Bet you don't." I was like,
Uh,
the buzz on Matt, I was like, "I'm 99.9% sure that she did the opening for the buzz on Maggie." "You did,
yes.
didn't you?"
Yes.
"Yes, that was a bop." I also love that show, so I was like and she was like, "How did you know?" She's like, "I'm her number 1 fan." I was like, I know. I'm locked in. I know the deep cuts."
Oh my gosh, that was such a fun project to be a part of, but you know, it is kind of cringe watching that Buzz on Maggie music video. If you have time on YouTube to Google
Mhm,
Buzz on Maggie music video, Sky Sweetnam, I'm dressed up like a bug, you know,
mhm.
in a 2D world doing my little dance. So I got like these bug glasses on and my fairy wings and
That's
fun times.
iconic. That's an iconic moment. That's awesome, though.
It was a cool song, and I will say, out of all the Disney characters to kind of lend a theme song to, like a rock and roll bug fly, is pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
You
I'm so
know, and
excited
all of
'cause
our viewers are gonna go on and look that up. Like, we're gonna make it trend all over again.
Oh my god.
she's like,
Everybody's
"Please
gonna
no."
see it on TikTok doing the bug dance.
Oh my god. Yes.
Let's put it in the
Crazy.
universe. So, since we are getting closer with the time, um, what do you have coming up as far as the next song? Do you have a date of when you are releasing that?
Yeah, so right now, it's mid I don't know if I have the exact date, but it's mid next month. We're trying to do a single every single month, kind of leading up to the album release, and then hopefully maybe one or two videos afterwards for fun.
Okay.
Um, the idea is to just keep letting people know that we're back. You know, it has been a long time, so we kind of have to warm people up to remember the name. And it's for me, it feels like a blink of an eye since the last record, but I realize some people have gone through their entire high school years in that time. So I realize that you need to kind of remind people you're back. So we're going to also try to show some diversity with each song that we put out. So they're all going to be kind of different vibes. You know, Villains was different vibe than Shivers. Asteroids very different vibe than Shivers and Villains. So we're just going to kind of, you know, test everyone's palette, see what parts of the record that they dig. And I think there's really something for everybody. There's so much versatility on it, and we had just had so much fun picking these songs and creating this compilation. So hopefully that translates when people hear the record, you know?
Now I know everything with the drummer, but do you have any shows that you do have scheduled or
Right now, it's going to be pretty much music video all the way until the release of the record. Our goal really is to just promote as much online until the record comes out. Once the record drops, my hope is that we can be out on the road for like the next couple years. We'll just like keep promoting the record, get out there, have the drummer situation sorted, know what's going on with that. And by that time, with the record out, we can play as many songs as we want from the record, which will be awesome. And it really is a labor of love doing these music videos. They take a lot of my time. You know, if you think about taking a week to like plan the idea and then get all the props and then organize everybody coming to the set and then shooting the next week and then 2 weeks for doing all of the editing and then the special effects and the coloring takes a lot of time. So even when we had to take off like our to that one show in Switzerland, we lost like a week and it like put me back like a ton of time. So there's so much obviously with content creation these days, keeping up with the algorithms. It's insane. So I know I'm going to be very busy for the next few months. And then when I get into tour mode, I really, really love to just like shut off that side of my brain that's like the writing and the music videos and just go full on to just like being on the road and spending time with the fans. And so it is kind of like two different gears. Like you got to shift from tour gear back into like music video gear kind of thing. So we're in music video mode now, and then at the end of the year, hopefully we'll be able to shift into touring. And I would love to go everywhere. We're getting so many requests, which is amazing, from fans all over the place telling us, when are you going to come? We want to see Sumo Cyco live again. So yeah, we got to hit all the spots. So I'm excited to plan that all out.
And as far as merch, are you going to be dropping like all new merch for Neon Void? Have you already started dropping some of it? Like your merch has all. I'm wearing your Sumo Cyco socks right now. And they're so comfy. They're my favorite.
Yes. So for us, I really have like kind of like some tiered plans. We did like a villains drop, so we had some merch that was specifically for villains. And then we have some collaborations in the works that I don't know if I can talk about right now, but we'll have another merch collaboration coming up in a couple months. And then in the meantime, we're going to start figuring out all of our Neon Void merch, all of the cool packages, the vinyl, all of that fun stuff. And we'll have a full line coming out in advance of the record coming out in October. So I'm working on that stuff right now and I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Oh, we're so excited. So where do you like people to go? Do you have a preference like Spotify? I mean, do you like them to go to YouTube because of the videos?
Yeah. I mean, everywhere is pretty easy to find us if people have like a specific platform that they like the best, if they want to stream music. Yeah, for sure. It's all /Sumo Cyco or at Sumo Cyco. And I put a lot of work into the website because I designed it myself. So check that out. But I also really love to show off the visuals, obviously, on YouTube. But it is so important for those listening out there to know that, especially because we are independent band, the more love that we can get where you like, you comment, you share, you favorite, you follow, all that stuff means so much, and it's free to do. So all you have to do is go to your favorite platforms and tap that little button, and it really helps the band, move up in the ranks of the algorithm to be shown to more people. And we really appreciate that from our fans. So
now I did so good with keeping from getting emotional because the last time I was on the live show, you surprised me and came on for my birthday and I started crying and was an emotional wreck. I just want you to know, seriously, through the years, what an inspiration you have been to me personally. And that's from makeup. I do my 31 looks for October. And whenever I've been at a block or whatever, like I just go through your pictures and kind of get that inspiration, outfit of the day, and your music from your independent stuff to Sumo Cyco's bops. It just has got me through so much through the years.
Oh, Allie, thank you so much. That means so
You're
much to
literally
me.
her dream guest. Like, I'm like, I cannot emphasize that enough. Like,
This show, there's a couple artists that have really impacted me through the years. And this show, like, it's got bits and pieces of Skye in it. Just know that.
Aw. I love that. I love it so much, Allie. Thank you so much for the kind words. And to be honest, that is the biggest compliment that you say that I've inspired you, because you're going to inspire other people because you were inspired. And it's like the most magical train of gifts that we can keep giving the world, is to keep inspiring others. So I really love that. And I know that with the work you're doing and all the effort you put into your content, you're inspiring more and more people through that. So thank you so much.
It's artists like you that make this just so fun.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you taking the time to come on. And if you have anything in the future that you just want to get out there and you want to come on, even if it's for a couple minutes just to talk about something, you are always welcome.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jesse, too. You guys have been amazing. I love being part of it. Thanks so much for being supporters and spreading the word, and helping the music scene, because the more people that we have like you talking about music and alternative culture and fashion, like, it really, really helps the whole scene grow. So thank you so much.
No problem. Happy
We
to be
appreciate
here.
you. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day, guys. Take care. We'll see you next
Bye.
time.
Super awesome. Also, just really happy to see, like, you're glowing tonight, baby. You're
Was I like
glowing.
smiling awkward like through that whole thing? Because I was trying really hard not to, but I feel like I probably was. I don't know. It was so important to me that she knows like how she's influenced me through the years.
Yeah.
So this is just awesome. It's awesome. Like to have people that like have been important to you like for such a long period of time. Even with Melissa. I mean, it's so fun having a podcast, Joe. I just have to say, like, it's amazing.
You get to talk to so many people, experience so many awesome things, and I'm just like happy, and I'm happy to be here every week with you. And you know,
And
a
we have
lot to
lots.
anticipate from Sumo Cyco, and a lot of good things coming forward with a pretty little podcast too. So if you're not
We are
already,
like jam packed.
I
Like,
know. So
we're
honestly,
literally
guys,
like,
if you are not already, subscribe, because we are packed. Like, it's rolling. It's
there's
rolling,
some
rolling
goodies.
in.
There's some good guests coming
There
on.
are some good guests coming on. So I would subscribe, and I would also hit the notifications, just because like we really are packed, and I'm not
And
just saying
definitely comment. Like, tell us
yeah,
what you like, what you
or who
don't like,
you
what
would
you
like
want to
to
see more.
see.
Definitely. We are up for all suggestions. And thank you so much, everyone. Again, till next week. Love you,
Yay.
Jesse.
See ya. Bye.